know who I really feel sorry for? It's AJ Styles. AJ Styles apparently was evicted from SmackDown Live, and in moves the younger, more studly-looking Roman Reigns, taking over the place. Meanwhile, in actuality, Roman Reigns isn't even good enough to be AJ Styles' gardener. AJ Styles moved to Monday Night Raw in exchange for Roman Reigns. I don't want to upset everybody, because that's what I do here. But when I look at Roman Reigns, I don't see at all what is the greatest acquisition in SmackDown Live history. I don't see a game changer. In fact, I see nothing more than a channel changer. Roman Reigns is on SmackDown Live, and Tuesday nights now have become the new Monday. Monday is already bad enough, and now we have 2 Mondays during the week. Oh, man. This superstar shakeup was absolutely fucking dreadful. It was dreadful. I'm sitting here, and I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck they're doing going into the rest of 2019. It's as if they did no planning whatsoever. I don't know who is in the mid-card on SmackDown Live. I don't know who's in the women's division on SmackDown Live. Apparently, most of the division is on SmackDown Live. I don't know who's on Monday Night Raw. You guys were throwing names at me, and 1 or 2 of them stick out to me, and the rest are catering VIPs. What about the tag team division on SmackDown Live? Who's going to be challenging the Hardys for the SmackDown Live tag team titles? I don't know. I am honestly confused about everything that they did as far as this shakeup goes this year. Now, there were reports that WWE didn't have a full staff because of traveling issues. Now, I'm not going to blame everything on Mother Nature, but Vince McMahon, more than likely, even with a full roster, still would have delivered the same quality shows on both Monday and Tuesday. I am very disappointed. I am honestly disappointed in everything that they did, man. And the fucking subtleties that they just intentionally put on the show. Truth hidden in the promos. Last night, Lacey Evans using her wit and her charm and pulling the strings backstage to get whatever she wants. A lady knows how to get what she wants backstage. Of course she does. Of course she does. Show a little tit, show a little ass, show a little leg. Forget about it. You'll have everybody fucking in creative pitching a nice tent. Then here on SmackDown Live, they use Elias as a buffer, and Vince McMahon says everything that he thinks about Roman with Elias, because Elias got the heat on Monday Night Raw by making fun of hockey, which is the #1 sport up there, and everything he said about Elias was actually for Roman Reigns. I love how WWE just throws these little subtleties at you. This show was a complete fucking piece of shit. The best thing about tonight's show was the fact that Buddy Murphy got drafted to SmackDown Live. That was my #1 moment of the night. I don't know what yours was. But whatever they did tonight did nothing as far as excitement goes. And Roman Reigns is the complete opposite of greatest acquisition for SmackDown Live. Some real ratings booster on Fox Sports. Fuck out of here, man. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I really don't even want to be here. These shows, this company, after last night, I'm still upset about the Viking experience, man. I really am. I have not gotten over it, and there are people in the community who are actually saying it's not a big deal. To you, I say, you're a fucking idiot. Because you're not using your brain to really internalize and analyze what the real issue is. You're a fucking buffoon if you agree with whatever this man does. We're going to go everything on SmackDown Live. Not a good show at all. And I feel sorry for whoever went to this show in Montreal. You should know better next time. I keep telling you people, why you buy tickets to these shows when you know exactly what you're going to get. Disappointment. We'll go over everything today on what was the Superstar Shakeup. And the ratings are reflecting people's interests in the Superstar Shakeup. WWE was down 26%. 26% from last year's Superstar Shakeup with the ratings on Monday Night Raw. And they continue to trend downwards coming out of WrestleMania. But Vince McMahon is the guy that comes out and you're giving him a fucking bow from the audience. Awesome. You guys missed my Monday Night Raw review. A review that I really didn't even do an intro for. I usually do a fun, nice, sarcastic intro with the Monday Night Raw intro. I didn't do anything. I didn't even talk about The Miz and Shane McMahon in the opening of Monday Night Raw last night because that's how angry I was with the entire show and the Viking experience. So if you guys missed anything, I don't know why I got Monday Night Raw's thumbnail from last week there. Either way, I got to get rid of all that shit. Anyway, listen. You don't even need the fucking thumbnails. Just go to the annotation that you see in the top right corner. Click the motherfucker down, and everything that you see on the channel as of recently is going to be there. Okay? So, I'm completely out of my element here, man. This company has fucked me up so much that I want to fucking bury my face in my pillow and not wake up tomorrow morning. Fucking ridiculous. Follow me on social media. At JD from NY206 on both the Twitter and the Instagram. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Patreon.com/JD from NY206 if you guys want to support the podcast via the Patreon page. We got a milestone coming up, folks. We got a milestone. I don't think I'm going to be at Double or Nothing. I might be watching it from the comfort of my own living room. I want to be in Vegas, but I don't think it's going to be very economical for me to be in Las Vegas. So I might be watching it from my home. But we are over 108,000 subscribers, man. The growth on the channel as of late is fucking unbelievable, man. Puts a smile on my face. So if you guys want to be a part of JD's Elite, please hit that subscribe button. Can we hit the milestone of 100,000? I can't even add tonight. 115,000 before Double or Nothing weekend. Let's try and do that, man. We are basically at 108,500. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and be a part of my elite. So I thank you guys so very much. All the veterans and all the newbies that have signed up to subscribe to the channel based off anything that I said on Twitter, or if you caught a video this week with the Sasha Banks deal or the Monday Night Raw videos. Thank you guys so very much, man. I really appreciate all of your support. Let's get into the show tonight, man. SmackDown Live from Montreal, night 2 of the Superstar Shakeup that clearly was a complete waste of everybody's time, just like this opening to SmackDown Live tonight. Kevin Owens comes out, and he comes out for the Kevin Owens Show. I honestly think WWE right now, and this is worse than I think I've ever seen it, the WrestleMania autopilot mode we thought was bad. When WrestleMania is over with, WWE goes on vacation till SummerSlam. Then they'll show face for about a week or two, and then they'll go on vacation till next year's WrestleMania. And that's exactly what they're doing with Kevin Owens. There's no reason that you can take Kevin Owens and not book him to be a dominant fucking figure on this show. And the guy is delegated to do a talk show. Now, listen. We all know that Kevin Owens is one of the more talented guys on SmackDown Live, or in WWE in general. And anything that you put him to do, he's going to do it 100%. He'll make you laugh. He'll fucking get under your skin as a heel. He gets the crowd excited. He can talk. He can go in the ring. The guy can literally do everything. WWE is a gold mine in Kevin Owens. But I honestly feel, and I know I'm not alone in this, the guy is being severely wasted right now. And he came back from injury. He wasn't really going to factor into anything WrestleMania. It was too late. They used him, very scarcely with the Kofi Kingston situation. And now here he is mingling again with Kofi Kingston. They didn't use him at WrestleMania. He wasn't in the Battle Royal. They kept him out. I was hoping that WWE would have some sort of plan for Kevin Owens coming out of the Superstar Shakeup, and we are right back to where we were when he came back with the fucking Kevin Owens show. This segment didn't help anybody. Now, I'm all for laughs. I'm all for a jolly good time here and there with WWE. There is a place and a time for light-hearted entertainment. Something that's going to put a smile on your face. But with something as serious as the Superstar Shakeup, that really is going to mold these shows for the rest of the year up until WrestleMania. You're over here having Kevin Owens fucking put on a shirt that is 6 times smaller than what he usually wears, and be an honorary member of the New Day, gyrating, calling himself the Big O. The Big O. I don't know who laughed at this. I sat there with a stone-cold grin on my face, because what they did on Monday Night Raw still resonated on into SmackDown Live, and they had a New Day, literally, to get off on the right foot, and WWE goes right back to wasting 20 minutes of your time to book a cheesy, unenergetic, bland, boring, uncreative, 6-man tag team main event match. And I'm supposed to sit here and bend over and take WWE's bullshit up the ass. How does anybody find this to be exciting? In fact, I find this to be beneath Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens came out for the Kevin Owens show. Graves noted he's a hometown boy. Great observation there, Mr. Graves. He spoke some French, didn't understand a fucking word he said. Then he said a couple of surprises are still to come. He said Mr. McMahon himself will be out later. Fans booed. The same fans that booed when Vince McMahon came out, they were bowing to this man's presence. Fucking idiots. You're exactly what is wrong with the fucking show. You guys said it, not me. Fans chanted Kevin Owens loudly. Owens introduced his guest, the WWE champion, Kofi Kingston. He danced out with Xavier Woods with a giant platter of pancakes to the New Day music. Byron Saxton said Big E is sidelined with an injury, and he can't be there. Big E tore his meniscus, I believe it was. Tore his meniscus, going to be out about 6 to 8 weeks. So hopefully he gets better very soon. Big E is a very integral part of the New Day. And no, he didn't tear his meniscus on the splits that he did on Monday Night Raw. It was actually in the tag team match last week that the New Day had. You know, the one in which Drew McIntyre just walked out because he deemed it unimportant for himself? Yeah, that one. Great job there, Mr. McIntyre. Hope Big E gets well. So, the Big O, Kevin Owens, talking about Kofi Kingston getting his first WWE title match in 11 years, how he fought against all the odds, congratulated him for the win. He stood up and applauded Kofi Kingston. I don't want anybody to get too salty about the things that I say, but the things that I say really do make sense, and I'm a very observant individual. WrestleMania was about 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. And here we are with Kofi Kingston as the WWE champion, and we're still congratulating this man on becoming the WWE champion. You didn't get that out of your system or enough already? Like, I really don't understand the pandering and the cocksucking and the partying that is still going on for a guy who just won the WWE Championship 12 days ago. Or whatever days ago, a week and a half ago, whatever. And we're still fucking bowing to this guy as if he just won it last night. Enough. We don't need any more cocksucking for the Kofi Kingston bandwagon. The honeymoon is over. You got your partying out. You tossed your pancakes. You got your kids in the ring with your wife. Enough. Now it's time to go back to the office and get some fucking title defenses under your belt and a challenger standing across from you in that ring, whomever it may be. This is not really going to make Kofi Kingston a legit threat as a WWE champion. And the fact that he's still throwing fucking pancakes and gyrating is really not a good look for the WWE Championship. Something that he should have moved away from. Not saying you can't do it, but you're the champion now. You have a new title. A new title to your name. You're the WWE Champion. A little more seriousness would be appreciated. Moving on. Owens talked about Kofi winning the title in his first match in 11 years. He said he got to celebrate with his family, his friends, and with the fans, whom he said were the most important. He spoke in French, and the fans erupted. I don't know what he said. They sat back down, all three of them did. Owens said, "I'm going to sit back down. I love sitting." I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. I'm sure Titus has a nice fucking seat for you, prepared, in catering. Owens said the bad news is Big E isn't there. It's not because he was still stuck in the splits in Brooklyn. Ha ha ha. Xavier complained that the Shakeup has taken most of his up, down, down roster, and to be a YouTube success, he needs Tyler Breeze on SmackDown by the end of the night. I actually enjoyed that line. And you know what? Why didn't that happen? Why didn't Tyler Breeze get drafted to SmackDown Live? Why didn't he get repackaged as Prince Pretty? Or better yet, which I don't know why this wasn't a thing in the Shakeup, why people weren't moved from Raw and SmackDown to NXT, Tyler Breeze would have been a perfect candidate to experiment with that. They didn't do it. WWE wants to be uncreative and unprepared. There you go. But that was a nice little thumbs up of approval by Xavier Woods for Tyler Breeze. WWE's loss, not Tyler Breeze's. He'll probably end up like fucking Luke Harper and Alexander Wolf, both of who have asked for their release. I wonder why. We'll talk about that on Off the Script. I don't have news and notes on exactly what happened, but I know Luke Harper tonight, or actually last night, he had written a note in his phone, and then he posted it today rather, on Twitter, saying that he is asking for his WWE release. Alexander Wolf is another story. They drafted Eric Young, or shook up Eric Young to Monday Night Raw from SmackDown Live. Killian Dane, I don't know where he is. Alexander Wolf said, fuck it. Saturday's no more? I don't give a shit. He might have just walked out of WWE. Killian Dane, I don't know where they use Killian Dane. A move back down to NXT. That would be beneficial to him. Or maybe you move him over to NXT UK. I think they could use a guy like Killian Dane over there on that roster. And you know what? I think that would give him a sense of rejuvenation if you do that. Because if he stays on SmackDown Live, they won't use him. They won't use the talent that is Killian Dane. NXT UK is a absolutely great destination for Killian Dane. Anyway, Kevin Owens, the Big O, says Big E is gone. He wants to be with them. He said he's the Big K, then he changed his name to the Big O because it sounds funnier. Kofi says he wants to be the third member of the New Day. Now, I could go on and make your mother joke about the Big O or a sister joke about the Big O, but I'll refrain to those people in the comments that think it's cheesy. The Big O. Anyway. He asked if he'll wear a crop top, says Xavier Woods. KO says they could talk about it. Xavier says that there is a cereal tasting, pancake throwing, video game tournaments. KO said, I'm game. They showed Rusev and Nakamura watching backstage, unamused like I was watching this on my couch. Kofi says there's a lot of movement of the groinal region with us. He asked if KO can do that, and the Big O gyrated his hips. Kofi and Xavier popped with enthusiasm, and they looked impressed. And Kofi asked the fans how they felt about the Big O being an honorary member of the New Day. Xavier says, it's settled, the Big O is part of the New Day tonight. Kofi then gave the Big O a t-shirt. Xavier put it on, and he handed him a headband with a unicorn horn on it. They hugged and jumped down or jumped up and down, rather, in celebration. Then they danced, and Kevin Owens was now an honorary member of the New Day. During the Superstar Shakeup, which is supposed to be taking all these members of the WWE active roster and putting them on a brand in which is going to make the brand that much better, or better than it was before. And here we are, 20 minutes of a 2-hour show wasted on unfunny comedy with one of the best heels, or a person who could be the best heel in WWE, gyrating with a fucking unicorn on his head. Unicorn horn on his head. I don't know who found this funny, but I think we've had enough of the fucking laughs. There are so many problems in WWE right now. This type of shit is not going to erase all the issues that they have. So spare me the bullshit and get on with booking the show the way that they need to be booked. Fucking garbage. Cesaro was backstage. He walked up to Rusev and Nakamura. He says, there's 3 of them in the ring, and there's only 2 of you. Do you guys need a tag team partner? Wow, Vince. Wow, Vince. Picking up right where Road Dogg left off. You didn't miss a beat. Fucking 6-man tags on last night's show and on this show tonight. Some creative juices you got there. Finn Balor versus Ali. Finn Balor comes out. Apparently he's the newest addition to SmackDown Live. So the Intercontinental Championship is now on SmackDown Live. This is a good move for Finn Balor. But WWE, right now, as far as I'm concerned, and there were reports about Samoa Joe, as far as I'm concerned, there was no announcement made about the United States Championship. Now, this could be rectified next week. Joe could just show up on Monday Night Raw if he's feeling better. Apparently, he was violently ill to a point where he could not even move. There were reports that he was so ill and still showed up to work, but WWE refused to use him on television because of his condition. That's a fucking beast right there in Samoa Joe. That's a fucking savage in Samoa Joe. But Jesus fucking Christ, can you give me some sort of, some order? Or the common decency to announce that, yeah, Joe is here, but we'll give him a graphic, being that he can't show up on TV. We'll announce the United States Champion is coming to Monday Night Raw. So what does WWE do? They don't give you the graphic. They don't give you a tweet or an update via social media, and they proceed to put Finn Balor out there. So now you're thinking at home that the IC title and the US title are on SmackDown Live. Or maybe they did make an announcement, and I was too oblivious to see where they made this announcement. As far as I'm concerned, they didn't make no fucking announcement. And as far as everybody else is concerned watching this show, SmackDown Live's got 2 mid-card titles. At the end of the day, this is a right decision. This is a right decision. Balor had nothing to do on Monday Night Raw, and Balor on SmackDown Live has a plethora of new opponents. Shinsuke Nakamura, Daniel Bryan, Mustafa Ali, just like he faced tonight, Buddy Murphy, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So Finn Balor has a new variety, several different varieties of opponents on SmackDown Live. This was actually a very good match. I loved what these 2 guys did together, and I'm with Corey Graves here. He says this is not the only time we'll see this, and I could see this 4 or 5 other times, no question, happening right here on SmackDown Live. You know what? Good. Good. I think these 2 guys are going to fucking tear the house down on SmackDown Live if given the opportunity to do so. And when you talk about WWE, which should be starting next week, the Money in the Bank build, qualifying matches for people to get into the Money in the Bank ladder match, when you talk about Money in the Bank, you're talking about Mustafa Ali. I don't give a shit who else you're thinking. Yeah, Andrade, he's another one I think would be perfect for the Money in the Bank. It's definitely more catered to the heel. Andrade probably fits the bill better than Mustafa Ali. But when you're talking about an underdog and someone who can come from behind and someone that you don't necessarily want to get a big victory over a major name for no reason, that match for someone like Mustafa Ali would be perfect because he is the quintessential underdog that they have right now on the main roster. He plays it beautifully. The unpredictability of that ladder match for someone like Mustafa Ali would be perfect. And the Survivor Series is in Chicago this year. Imagine him cashing in Chicago. Something that I would love to see, and I know a lot of people that I talk to have mentioned it as well. Mustafa Ali is from Chicago. Him going into Chicago with the Money in the Bank briefcase and cashing it in there got the makings of an epic cash-in this year. If WWE wants to explore that. I don't know. By the way, for the people who reached out to me on social media and know that I'm a Mustafa Ali guy, for the people who said, oh, look at your boy Mustafa Ali generating no reaction. I don't know what the fuck you were listening to. Maybe you were watching this show on mute. Because everything that Mustafa Ali and Finn Balor did connected, it was intense, and the people bought into it. So I don't know what the fuck you're listening to. At least it's not Lars Sullivan's silence. This was a good match. Finn Balor had back-to-back very good TV matches. One with Andrade. Now I understand why Andrade won. I still don't understand why it had to be Finn Balor. But they made a little bit more of a clearer path here with him losing last night on Monday Night Raw to Andrade because he was going over to SmackDown Live. Finn Balor wins with the coup de grace. Very good match here between both of them. Ali climbed the top rope. He went for a 450, and Balor avoided it, and Ali rolled through very nicely. Then he drop-kicked him with that hesitation missile drop-kick right into the corner. Ali, like a fucking water balloon, splatted that fucking turnbuckle. He hit that middle turnbuckle. He landed right in perfect position for Balor to go up top for the coup de grace. And that was it. 1, 2, 3. Very good match between the two. I am sure we will see a lot more of both of them in the coming months on SmackDown Live. After the match, Balor put his hand out in appreciation. And I love the fact that even with the losses, everybody that's in the ring with Mustafa Ali is giving him and showing him that appreciation for a job well done. So if everybody is backing this guy for what he's doing in the ring, it's not going to be long before the crowd picks up on that. The guy is too good to be one of these guys that's just there. He's going to make an impact. You got to give him time. Because with what happened to him coming in that whole Kofi Kingston situation, it's going to be a little bit before he gets back to having any type of momentum for himself. That really fucked everything up as far as he is concerned, in my honest opinion. So we'll see what happens with Mustafa Ali. I think he's too good to let all of that get to him. He's going to be perfectly fine on SmackDown Live. Backstage, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston were wondering where the Big O was. They were looking for the Big O. Kofi had a big plate of pancakes, and Xavier Woods had the trombone. They found him standing all by himself, the Big O, playing with his unicorn horn. So they asked if he's ready for his initiation. Xavier says the Big O has to eat this entire platter of pancakes in under 5 minutes and 37 seconds to beat Big E's record. Owens says he's never eaten a pancake before in his entire life. Kevin Owens began shoving them into his mouth and started complaining that they were cold and they were dry. Again, like I mentioned in the beginning, this is the shit that Kofi Kingston needs to move away from if he's going to be walking around with that WWE Championship. Oh, but JD, that's his personality. Tone it down. Tone it down. You are now the flag bearer for this entire show, holding one of the most prestigious titles in the wrestling world. I don't want to see someone delivering a fucking platter of pancakes, having another guy shove them down his mouth. It's not really the visual of a WWE champion in my eyes. Enough. So, Graves said, I didn't know Owens ate carbs at all. So they went to commercial. They come back from commercial. The Big O had eaten all the pancakes. Sure. Really nicely done there by, you know. Don't know where they all went. I know they didn't go in Kevin Owens' stomach. But he ate all the pancakes and he eventually broke Big E's record. Nice WWE champion you got there. We've seen the buzzard in the box again. I don't know if it's a fucking promo for Bray Wyatt or it's one of those truth ads telling people not to smoke cigarettes. It's like it's a mixture of coughing and laughing. Is it the old blue-haired cunt coming back? Oh, you didn't clean my jewelry. For the OGs of the channel. Anyway. Carmella with R-Truth versus Charlotte Flair. I guess both of these women are on SmackDown Live. They made mention of it on commentary. You might have missed it if you weren't paying attention. I caught it. Graves said, Saxton, how do you feel about both of these women remaining in the SmackDown Live women's division? Mentioning that they've been here since 2016. This match was terrible. I don't like the back and forth between these two at all. This went 10 minutes. Charlotte wins with a figure 8. Now, listen, Carmella is not bad. There was just hesitation on both women in this match. There was no intensity. There was no real physicality. There was a lot of hesitation in the way of they didn't know what they wanted to do. There was a lot of stumbling. A lot of spots in which they wanted to do something and they got kind of crisscrossed and mixed up. I didn't really like the back and forth between these two whatsoever. Carmella and Charlotte, like I said, Charlotte wins with the figure 8. As usual, Charlotte was not going to lose a generic TV match coming out of WrestleMania. After the match, Lars Sullivan came out. R-Truth was consoling Carmella after her loss because she tapped out to the figure 8. Truth and Lars Sullivan stand face to face in the ring, and Truth started punching away at Lars. Lars just stood there, and R-Truth bounced off the ropes with that corkscrew punch or corkscrew elbow that he does, and he got some offense in on Lars Sullivan. I have to ask, being that I am a master of logic, why is Lars Sullivan taking offense from everybody? Now, I understand the visual of him taking offense from somebody and standing there as if it doesn't faze him might look good to the fucking plebeian out there. But if you really want this guy to be a dominating force on SmackDown Live, which he is now an active member of, thank God. I'm glad that Lars Sullivan is on SmackDown Live and not Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw seems to be the land of the giants with Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin and Braun Strowman still over there. So Lars Sullivan can be his own giant on SmackDown Live. That's a good move. So kudos to WWE for getting at least something right this superstar shakeup. But the visual of him taking offense and standing there looking like a beast, unfazed, that might be okay to you, but the way I see it, nobody should be putting a finger on this guy. Nobody. Mysterio did it. R-Truth did it. The Hardys did it. Well, the Hardys didn't get any offense. I'm sorry. I complained about that on Monday Night Raw. But Mysterio on Monday, and now R-Truth on Tuesday. Lars Sullivan goes in, beats the shit out of everybody, leaves. It's a very simple concept. You want this guy to be a fucking monster, then you have him go in there, wreak havoc, and fucking leave like a boss. That's what I would do. So, he gave him the freak accident, and he gave him a beautiful sit-out powerbomb. And Lars Sullivan then started to stalk Carmella, who was laying in the corner, watching this savage attack unfold. Now, when Lars Sullivan came out, and I hope that they have him in a match, and instead of these fucking beatdowns, we get to see the real entrance, the full entrance, and hopefully they don't alter that, because that was one of the best things about the entire Lars Sullivan package. That entrance in NXT was great. It was a thing of beauty, simple, to the point, and it really highlighted the monster of a man that Lars Sullivan is. But the fact that this guy came out with the music playing, I swear to God, man, it's like Montreal walked into a fucking funeral. It's like they walked into a fucking funeral. I don't understand the echoes of silence that fall over the crowd when this guy comes out. And it's not even like, oh my God, it's Lars Sullivan. What is he going to do? It's genuine silence of people that don't care. It's scary. The amount of silence that this man is already feeling on the main roster. And you know what? I hope WWE does something with him to rectify that. Because whatever they're doing now might seem cool for the short term, but it's not going to ultimately get him over in front of the audience. there is something missing. There is something missing from Lars Sullivan. I don't know what it is. Maybe when he speaks, it might be a little bit better because the guy actually is a very good talker. They had Carmella in the ring tonight. I know this is PG WWE and I might be talking out my ass here, but you got Carmella in the ring. You already destroyed R-Truth. How great would it have been if Lars Sullivan picked up Carmella by the fucking hair and gave her a freak accident? That really would have gotten him over. Can't do that because everybody's a fucking SJW. Everybody's a pussy. Or here's a better option. Something that I don't think many people have really thrown out there. I've heard Lars Sullivan be thrown out there before Daniel Bryan picked Rowan as a heavy. I was hearing Lars Sullivan would be a perfect heavy for Daniel Bryan on his WWE Championship run. That would have been a great position. Especially with Daniel Bryan and the level of heel that he became on SmackDown Live. That would have gotten Sullivan over by association. But I don't think Sullivan is going to get over on his own. I really don't. He is trending right now in a downward spiral. He's got that Ryback feel to him. And that's not good. You don't want to give me that Ryback feeling. Because then people are just going to say, enough of this shit. Where's the remote? Let me change the channel. Let me go up and go grab another fucking beer. We don't want that. He may need a mouthpiece. Paul Heyman ain't doing anything. Can you imagine Paul Heyman with Lars Sullivan? It goes perfect with the guys that Paul Heyman has managed in the past. Why can't he be an advocate for the Freak? You got the Beast and you got the Freak. I think it fits Paul Heyman's MO. And that would get people excited about Lars Sullivan because every time Paul Heyman speaks, you listen. And just by Paul Heyman and the amount of heat that he generates, Sullivan standing there, he don't have to do anything. You look menacing, you look with that fucking evil grin you got, and you just stand there looking like a fucking beast. WWE's got to fix something about Lars Sullivan, man. I'm not feeling it right now. And I don't want you guys to mix up my words. I'm a fan of Lars Sullivan. I see a huge potential in him. I don't think WWE is tapping into that potential, and they're sending him out there with really no fucking idea of what they want to do. That's ultimately going to kill Lars Sullivan. Moving on here. Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch was making her way to the ring, and apparently she had her big announcement, or a huge announcement of her own, on this Superstar Shakeup. She played to the crowd. She was showing a video package of her win at WrestleMania. Just like Kofi Kingston, Becky Lynch is not immune. Enough! You beat Ronda. You won the 2 titles. You pinned Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania in the first ever women's main event. Enough! No more! We don't need to hear it over and over and over again. You got your win. You came out after Mania. You said what you needed to say. Back to the office. Back to work. Ronda is not even going to be a factor on television. There's no reason for anyone to utter her name. Becky seems to be living vicariously through Ronda Rousey to hang on to whatever fucking push she's got going on right now. Not really a good look, Becky. It's time you get the big girl pants pulled up and you start doing this shit on your own. By the way, she went on about Ronda Rousey and how she's Becky 2 belts. Another thing that they're ramming down your fucking throat. She said nothing focuses a mind like the Superstar Shakeup. And she was reminded very quickly on Raw last night what her job is. She said she has to beat Lacey Evans first, but she also needs to break new grounds, win new battles, and slap new heads. She said whoever they produce, they will batter those dopes. Or she will batter those dopes. She said the titles are her passport to pick fights with anyone on either brand just because I can. So I'm awaiting her big announcement And somewhere in the back of my fucking mind, I was hoping that WWE would do exactly what I had pitched 3 years ago and merge these divisions, but they didn't do that. They didn't say anything close to that. And Becky really didn't even have an announcement. Her big announcement was, I pinned Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. Okay. And I had a meatball sandwich for fucking lunch tonight, or lunch this afternoon, and I had a cup of coffee during SmackDown Live, and when the women came on tonight, I ran to the bathroom to relieve myself of my meatball sandwich that I had earlier in the afternoon. That's my big announcement. Who cares? Fucking ridiculous. So, Ember Moon comes out. And I'm sorry if I gave you a terrible visual, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make a point. What was her big announcement? I beat Ronda Rousey. Okay. Great. I made the bed this morning. Great. I vacuumed the fucking rug this morning. Fantastic. I did the dishes this morning. Great job. Unbelievable. Who cares? Ember Moon came out. Becky advised her not to interrupt. Moon says that she's not out here for advice. She wants to confront the person who beat Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. Another one. Okay, Becky beat Ronda. Great. Make that an objective now. One that which you don't have to just project to the audience every single week. We know. Everybody watched WrestleMania. We know. So Bayley then comes out and interrupts Ember Moon. She was booed by the Montreal crowd. So I'm assuming she was booed because of the entire Sasha Banks situation. I don't know why Bayley was booed, or maybe just people don't like Bayley. I don't know. Bayley says this is exciting, and the shakeup is exciting, and this is what it's all about. She says she's joined SmackDown Live. So Ember Moon and Bayley are on SmackDown Live. Don't really have a problem with that. I was hoping that those two moves would happen anyway, and here we are. I was hoping for a merging of the divisions, but I guess, beggars can't be choosers. So Becky said if she wanted a hug or something, and Bayley said, nah, I got all my hugs out on Monday Night Raw. Don't really know what that meant, but maybe we'll see a little bit more of an evil Bayley, a more focused Bayley. She said it's been a while since they've seen each other and a lot has changed. Becky said, yep, a lot has changed. I'm pretty much what she meant by that is, I'm a winner and you're a loser. A lot has changed. A lot has changed since the days of NXT. She said she willed the women's tag team titles into existence. Nice jab there at the entire division. And with Sasha Banks, they became the first ever women's tag team champions. More boos. Go away heat for Bayley in Montreal. She says, as special as those titles are, she's on SmackDown as a singles competitor. And she really highlighted and stressed singles competitor. So she has her eyes on two other titles. She was then interrupted by the Idiotics. So Billie Kay and Peyton Royce come out. And they start proclaiming that, did someone say 2 belts? Yeah, 2 belts that you two do not deserve. Peyton Royce agreed she heard 2 belts. And then they went on to say that their belts are so much better than Becky's because their belts are idiotic. Paige interrupted. Paige here. Remember the announcement that she was going to make? Everybody was all excited and everybody was predicting who Paige was going to bring out here to challenge the Iconics. Now, WWE really left it open last week as if there was going to be a tag team title match this week with Paige's new associates. That didn't happen. WWE played everybody like a fucking fiddle. Paige came out and she said, I am here to introduce the duo that will be representing SmackDown Live by me. She said that she believed in these 2 women from the beginning. Out come Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. They come out. They're still a part of SmackDown Live. And they think that Paige is going to just bring Absolution back together. Please, spare me. Thank God that didn't happen. So, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville had a terrible night tonight because Paige just disappointed them. Listen, baby girl, I'm not bringing Absolution back. You're going to have to wait a little while longer on that one. She introduced Asuka and mentioned that these two women are two brand new revolutionary women. Asuka is brand new? When did Asuka become brand new? So she introduced Asuka first, and then her partner, Kairi Sane. By the way, let me backtrack a little bit. Because I'm looking at Ember Moon's name as far as the match highlights go. Ember Moon was described as the war goddess by Tom Phillips. This bothered me. The war goddess. Now, she went out there with the microphone in her hand and she, I guess, said she's the Sheenom. And Tom Phillips on commentary called her the war goddess. So it's okay for Ember Moon to be called the war goddess on commentary, but it's not okay for Hanson and Rowe to be called the War Raiders. Great logic there, SmackDown Live. Makes me wonder why the name was even changed to begin with. Eventually we'll find out. Awful. Absolutely awful. So that was the first thing I was thinking about. That made me scratch my head, the War Goddess. But we can't have the War Raiders? Anyway. Asuka is a brand new revolutionary woman on SmackDown Live. Who would have known? Asuka and Kairi Sane. Phillips said the superstar shakeup affects all wrestlers, including NXT. Yeah, great observation there, Mr. Tom. Paige sent them to the ring to make an impact. Big brawl broke out. Becky Two Belts got out of the way. And we went to commercial. It was Asuka, Ember Moon, Kairi Sane, Bayley. They cleared the ring of Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and the Iconics. And we went to commercial, and I'm like, the inevitable 8-woman tag team match. What do you think happens? Boom. Boom. All these 8-man, 8-woman, 6-man, 6-woman tag team matches all over the place. It's as if WWE, this is their new thing. First it's a winner take all, then it's a gauntlet match, and now we got the 6-man and 8-man, 6-woman, 8-woman tag team matches all over the fucking place. Every single week. And it's not like it's any different. It's the same fucking people. Every week. Same matches every week. Maybe a face or two will change. No fucking creativity whatsoever. You're gonna make me beg for Road Dogg to come back, but then again, what the fuck is his... What are his ideas gonna do anyway? Swallowed up by the old man. 9 minutes this match went. Insane elbow off the top by Kairi Sane. Getting the pin on Mandy Rose. At least the champions had a better night tonight on SmackDown Live than they did on Monday Night Raw. At least Balor won his match, and the Iconics didn't get pinned. Mandy Rose gets the pin, or gets the loss here. She is pinned for her team. And that's it. So, I don't know where they're going with this. They added a new tag team to the women's division in Asuka and Kairi Sane, which we all know is going to get complaints from everybody because Kairi Sane is a great singles wrestler. It's going to be weird seeing her without EO. They paired her with another Japanese talent in Asuka, when we all know Asuka should be on her own as a singles competitor. They really threw Asuka under the bus here. A new revolutionary woman in Asuka. So they're taking Asuka out of the singles division, pairing her with Kairi Sane for tag team division, and they need tag teams. And they're using Asuka as a temporary because Tamina and Nia Jax, they're not going to be together. Nia Jax is going to be out for a full calendar year. There really is no other credible teams in the tag team division. They broke up Bayley and Sasha Banks. Bayley's on SmackDown. Sasha, I'm assuming, is staying on Raw. They have no legit tag teams. And there are rumors that WWE wants to get Beth Phoenix back on television regularly, which I can only assume is going to be for the tag team division. To team with Natty. WWE is, right now, in over their heads with these tag team titles. They wanted them on television. You all wanted them on television. And now look, the division is going to resemble what the women's divisions have looked like for the last 3 years. Depleted, weak, and irrelevant. With matches happening over and over and over again. Rinse and repeat. This is why I stated, if you're going to get tag teams together on these shows, you have plenty of women on both shows that you could use regularly. And I'm not talking about the Dana Brooks and the Alicia Foxes and the Mickey Jameses. I'm not talking about those women, okay? Or the Lanas. I'm talking about the fucking women that you're seeing in this ring tonight. You got more than enough on both shows where you can merge these divisions and get some matches. 2 women's matches on Monday Night Raw. A women's match here on SmackDown Live. And rotate the talent every single week. So you get some people showing up one week. Then the next week they take a week off. You rotate them out for some new talent. A revolving door of talent to keep everybody fresh. Not everybody has to be featured every fucking week. This is what they're doing now. This is why you see so many 6 and 8 woman tags. Because they want to get everyone on the show. And by doing that, you are not building credibility for any of these women. Tag team matches are just time fillers, especially when they're this unimportant and this irrelevant. It does nothing for a Bayley or an Ember Moon or an Asuka or a Kairi Sane or Mandy Rose who you need to bring up. It's weak. I know what I'm talking about. You might not agree with me. But this is the reality of the situation. You see these 6-woman and 8-woman tag team matches every week. It's not building credibility for any of these women. And it's killing the overall vibe of the division. Because they focus on 2 women, well, they're focusing on Lacey Evans right now for Becky Lynch. And meanwhile, they don't know what to do with anybody else. Instead of building up competitors through singles matches, a Ruby Riott versus an Ember Moon, or a Bayley versus an Ember Moon, or an Asuka versus a Ruby Riott, or a Kairi Sane versus a Bayley. And get wins under people's belts every single week. So when Becky does get through Lacey Evans, she'll have someone else lined up. Who's next in line? Oh, Kairi Sane won 3 or 4 matches. Or Asuka won 3 or 4 matches. Then they have a reason to be number 1 contender. And they have all the reason in the world to come out and say, hey, I'm next. Look at me and what I've been doing. Not like Lacey fucking Evans, who shows up, pats herself and dries her face with a fucking handkerchief, walking down the aisle, not having one match, and the one match she does have is beat Natty. Hey, I'm number 1 contender. You gotta look at me. Because Vince McMahon said so. He can't stop staring at my ass. Pathetic. Pathetic. This entire women's division right now is in shambles. You might not see it, but I do. Who are there? Who is there? Who are there? Who is there on Monday Night Raw in the women's division? Legitimately. Nia Jax's not there. Don't even say Tamina. Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Mickie James, Lacey Evans, right? Becky Lynch. She's on both shows. She's definitely dropping one of those titles, no question. I would not be shocked at all if Lacey Evans wins that Raw title and gets Becky right back on SmackDown Live. I would not be shocked. Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss. You got Becky Lynch, Lacey Evans. Who else is there on Monday Night Raw? Natty. Watching Natty wrestle is like watching paint dry. I can't tell the fucking difference. Alicia Fox. This might end up being good for Dana Brooke. Mickie James. There's nobody over there. That's a division? Look at what you did with SmackDown's division. Look at the talent you got over there. Why would it be so difficult to take those 5 or 6 women and just merge everybody together? Separate the tag teams from the singles and go about your business. I don't know. Maybe I'm making a big deal or a bigger deal out of it, but it is complete fucking chaos. I don't know where anyone is, or I don't get the feeling of anything being important. WWE doesn't give me the vibe of anything feeling important, so why the fuck should I feel like anything's important? Backstage, Matt and Jeff Hardy talk about Lars Sullivan. They held up the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. This is another thing. We got the Tag Team titles on SmackDown Live. Looks like they loaded up the Monday Night Raw Tag Team division. I don't know where AOP is going to go. Being that we got the War Raiders on Monday Night Raw, I can imagine AOP coming back and being on SmackDown Live. Have AOP, Heavy Machinery. Someone told me Sheamus got moved to Monday Night Raw. Why? Why would you break up the bar? So I'm going to assume, I didn't see or read that anywhere. I'm going to assume the bar is still together. You still got the New Day, right? Who else you got? You got the Hardys. Doesn't really constitute as a tag team division. The Colognes. Maybe Breezango. Tyler Breeze is back. Or he's there. Fandango's ready to come back. But do you give WWE the faith, or do you have faith in WWE? Do you give them the benefit of doubt to push fucking Breezango on television? Fandango said he doesn't want to be a part of that anymore. He wants to focus on him and be a singles guy. He wants to be a little bit more serious. Being that he came out and said that, WWE was going to do the opposite and give him the fucking comedy again. But who are the legit tag teams on SmackDown Live to challenge, credible tag teams, to challenge the Hardys? You replaced the Usos with the Hardys, and you're going to give me matches with the the Bar and the New Day? It's as if the Usos are still there in the spirit of the Hardys. That's not new and fresh. There's no credible tag teams on this show. Or maybe I'm just making a bigger deal out of it. Something that you might not care about. Fuck me for thinking about logic. Kevin Owens was backstage. He did Big E's introduction. And they had him redo it over and over and over again. Gotta come from your loins. He did a admirable job at doing Big E's entrance. So, he's no Big E, but he did a good job. Buddy Murphy came on to the Titantron. Said he's the WWE's best kept secret. He said that he spent the last 6 months destroying and dominating 205 Live as Cruiserweight Champion. And if you don't know him, you will soon know who he is because he's coming to SmackDown Live. Buddy Murphy is fucking fantastic. Oh, but JD, he's another vanilla midget man. Buddy Murphy is going to blow you away. Guy is fantastic. I could see him and Finn Balor giving us some fucking classics. I can't wait to see what he does, man. And I love, you know who I feel sorry for? I feel bad for the Austin Aries of the world and the fucking Nevilles of the world. They thought being on 205 Live, that they were going to be stuck on 205 Live forever. And here we are, Mustafa Ali, Cedric Alexander, and Buddy Murphy all moved to the main roster in the last 6 months. Fucking sucks to be them, huh? Or maybe they're happy. Maybe they don't even give a shit. But knowing how WWE's mentality has changed on that is unbelievable. You didn't want to do it then because you thought they were too small. And now you're okay with putting guys like Alexander and Buddy Murphy on Raw and SmackDown. I don't understand the mentality of this company. It was right then. You thought it was wrong. Now all of a sudden you think it's right. Why? I wonder why. Because you're afraid of losing talent. That's why. Shinsuke Nakamura, Rusev, and Cesaro versus Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, and Kevin Owens. This would have been a perfect opportunity for Kevin Owens to turn heel on Kofi Kingston. That didn't happen. I'm assuming because it was Montreal, and you can't really have Kevin Owens after that unbelievable crowd reaction, turn heel in his hometown. Sami Zayn didn't give a shit. Kevin Owens clearly thought the other way. This went 12 minutes. We had Trouble in Paradise on Rusev, followed up by KO hitting the stunner on Rusev, which he botched, by the way. Some balls on Rusev to go out on Twitter and mention something about Botchmaster, be gone. Don't know who he was talking about, whether it was Nia Jax or Sasha Banks. I don't know. We'll never know. He was very indirect with it. He's calling someone else Botchmaster, but here he fucked up, taking a stunner from Kevin Owens. Hey, Rusev, Botchmaster, be gone. Xavier and Kofi and KO win in 12 minutes. Don't know where this relationship is going, but clearly this is either one of two things. Kevin Owens is going to say fuck this shit and turn on Kofi Kingston, trying to take the WWE title away from him. There's really no other competition for Kofi Kingston right now. You're not going to do Roman Reigns versus Kofi Kingston. Daniel Bryan appears to be injured. So maybe it is Kevin Owens to try first. Maybe he's batting first in the lineup. against Kofi Kingston. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that is one thing that could happen. Number two, this could stay a thing. And Big E is going to be back in 6 to 8 weeks. They could ride this out for 2 months. I hope they don't. Kevin Owens is worth much more than that. Big E comes back and maybe Big E turns heel, saying that you replaced me with Kevin Owens. He's got my shtick. He's doing my gimmick. This is what you guys really think of me while I'm away? It's a nice, simple, easy setup. They could certainly do that. I don't think they will, but it's there. We'll see what happens. Vince McMahon made his entrance to the ring. We're going to wrap up here in a little bit because I really don't have much to say about this whatsoever. Vince McMahon made his entrance to the ring. And he is in Montreal. And you know how Vince loves Montreal. They never forget, folks. They never forget. The fans, I mean. Vince clearly don't give a shit. Vince is going to do what Vince wants, but the fans never forget. So he talked right over his music. It's like he wanted to go out there and just fucking end this shit. Vince does not want to be in front of the people, let alone a Montreal crowd. So he says it's great to be back in Montreal. He's got to throw the jab out there. He's got to get under everybody's fucking skin. He said it's not often that he puts a seal of approval on a superstar. He said the man he's about to introduce is the future of SmackDown Live and the WWE, and without question, the greatest acquisition in SmackDown history. He said his talent exudes charisma. Oh, he's a talented man, and he exudes charisma. He asks for a drum roll, and then he introduces Elias. Elias comes out, and he's the greatest acquisition in SmackDown Live history. He then comes out to the ring, does Elias, walks out with his guitar, introduces himself. Graves said this is the biggest get for SmackDown Live ever. Fans were, I don't know what the fans were, whether they were shocked or disappointed or whatever. I don't know. I really couldn't read the crowd at this moment. I sat there with absolutely no facial expression whatsoever because I knew what was about to come anyway. I just want to reiterate to you. I want to reiterate what Vince McMahon said. This is a seal of approval by Vince McMahon, he said. Without question, the greatest acquisition in the history of SmackDown Live, the future of SmackDown and the WWE, and he's a talented man and has charisma. He exudes charisma. Just keep those words in mind. Elias entered the ring, said he was thrilled about how he's being featured lately. Oh, he wasn't thrilled, rather, in how he was featured lately with John Cena or The Undertaker. But that introduction showed Vince he has the finger on the pulse of what the fans want. This entire segment was riddled with mockery. I'm letting you all know right now. This entire segment was riddled with mockery. They were mocking everyone watching. You, me, and everybody on social media. Which, by the way, my tweet right now is at 5,400 likes on social media. Didn't do a goddamn fucking thing. But we tried. I'm glad I'm not alone in my hatred and frustration for the quality of this product right now. Everything you read here was nothing but fucking mockery of the fans. Plain and simple, that's the God-honest truth. He's got his finger on the pulse of what the fans want. Mockery. What he said about Elias, mockery. Because it was hidden with nothing but Roman Reigns' agenda behind it. So he said with AJ Styles gone, SmackDown will become the Temple of Elias. He asked fans to silence their cell phones, hold their applause, shut their mouths. He began to strum, and then Roman Reigns' music played. And Tom Phillips had a big O behind the commentary booth. He couldn't contain his big O. Oh my God, as if someone fucking died live on television. Trying to sell this forced garbage on SmackDown Live. Wait a minute. Oh my God. Saxton then takes the cock and fucking starts sucking on it right there next to Phillips. Says this is game-changing and this is a headline story. I'm sitting on my couch and I'm sitting there with absolutely no excitement whatsoever. Reigns eyed Elias from the ring apron, attacked him. Sounded like there were boos for Roman Reigns, which I don't really blame you. It's okay to boo Roman Reigns. Vince yelled at Reigns. We couldn't hear what he was telling him. Didn't have the microphone to his mouth. Reigns gave Vince a Superman punch. Elias caught him as he fell back. Vince sold the Superman punch, knocked out. Reigns says, I don't care what he says, pointing to Vince. SmackDown Live is my yard now. He dropped the microphone and Reigns left. He then turned and gave Elias, again, or he returned to the ring, turned to Elias and gave Elias the spear. Graves then took the cock from Saxton and said this, and I quote, Reigns is a symbol of excellence who now belongs to SmackDown Live. Phillips then took the cock from Graves, started sucking on it a little bit more. Phillips says he's the future of SmackDown and WWE and reiterated that Roman Reigns is SmackDown's greatest acquisition ever. Reigns left, and that's the way the show ended. Now, I don't really understand what happened here. I don't get this. How this is such a monumental signing for SmackDown Live. How this is going to transcend SmackDown Live going into their major billion-dollar deal for Fox in October. But Kofi Kingston is the one I feel sorry for. Kofi Kingston's feel-good moment, folks. This is where I want all you guys to understand. We were all jovial, and we all loved what Kofi Kingston did when he won the WWE Championship. WWE has one of two things they could do here. They could go about Roman Reigns and the Roman Reigns agenda and give us the most nauseating fucking garbage all over again, just like we've seen for the last 5 years. Take away from the good spirits and the good feeling of Kofi Kingston, and then Roman's eventually going to get booed anyway, or you just do the inevitable and turn this man fucking heel to feud with a Kofi Kingston. To be the guy to turn heel and feud with Kofi Kingston, who is a mega babyface right now. I feel terrible for Kofi Kingston and anyone right now that is in that WWE Championship picture. And if you got a guy like Kofi Kingston who is not on the level of a Daniel Bryan Yes Movement 2014 run, but he's wildly fucking popular. Do you honestly think WWE is going to get what they want out of this? This is a game of Russian roulette that WWE is playing with Roman Reigns right now. He is on SmackDown Live, and your WWE champion is one of the most over baby faces in the entire fucking company, who just beat the biggest heel in the company, outside Tommaso Ciampa, in Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. And you're going to bring Roman Reigns, who you want to be the next babyface of your brand in your company, to feud with Kofi Kingston? You honestly think Kofi Kingston is going to go into this without 100% fan support? Doesn't matter who the fuck is in there. Roman Reigns is going to end up right back where he was, in the shithole, as a mixture of a heel and a babyface. And he's going to be presented when the time has come as a heel. And he'll be playing that role all over again. He'll be playing a heel that's disguised, or babyface disguised as a heel. They don't understand this. This is the greatest acquisition in SmackDown Live history. Now, granted, Roman Reigns on SmackDown Live. We got matches with, I guess, Finn Balor you could look at, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton. Not really setting the world on fire there. But I don't see how this is a great acquisition for SmackDown Live. I was thinking maybe a Brock Lesnar or someone along that line. Even that wouldn't have been a great acquisition, because you really can't call it the greatest acquisition in SmackDown Live history if the fucking guy's going to show up 4 days out of the year. This was fucking terrible. Nothing but fucking Roman cocksucking up and down on commentary. Straight mockery in the form of Vince McMahon bringing out Elias, really saying what he wants to about Roman Reigns, but he disguised it with Elias, because if he came out there and said that about Roman Reigns, forget about it. Booed out of the building. They knew. They disguised it in Elias. Everything Vince said about Elias was meant for Roman. But if he did it and said what he said and introduced Roman right out of the gate, how would it look? How would it look? Everything that I would have said would have been blatantly fucking obvious to you, or everything that I've stated for the last 5 years would have looked blatantly obvious to you. Come on, man. And everything Elias said as well, hidden in mockery. It's mockery in plain sight. Vince McMahon's got his finger on the pulse of what the fans want. Man, this shakeup was absolutely fucking garbage. Deplorable, embarrassing, chaotic, unplanned. I'm not excited. I remain unexcited about anything that this company is doing. As far as what I see, there really is no major changes to these shows. It doesn't matter. I'm going to reiterate what I said last night. The faces can change. Everything can change. Why Tom Phillips wasn't drafted to fucking... This is what I was surprised by. That Tom Phillips wasn't drafted to Monday Night Raw. Michael Cole drafted to SmackDown Live, being that they probably want their biggest announcer on the debut for Fox Sports. It may end up being that way later in the year. WWE, they do what the fuck they want anyway. They don't really give a shit about the brand split. They'll probably end up removing Phillips and putting him on Raw anyway with no explanation. But no matter how many times the faces change or how many people are added to these shows to try and load them up, it's not going to make a difference. The more things change, like Machine Head, the more things change, the more they stay the same. The only thing that needed to be changed in this shakeup is Vince McMahon taking less of an active role in how these shows are produced. Clearly that didn't happen on Monday or Tuesday, because these shows both resembled nothing but fucking chaos. I don't know what the fuck is going on. And the fact that Vince McMahon did this with Roman Reigns tonight proves that the Roman agenda is off and running quicker than I could have ever imagined. I'm not even shocked, really. But it didn't take them long to get right back into bed with this fucking guy. And the fact that Roman Reigns is the cancer survivor who's eventually going to be booed out of the building again. And WWE is going to do everything possible to make this guy the number one guy on WWE television. I don't think that's a good fucking shakeup at all. You like being mocked? Let me see anybody else in the fucking community detail that and analyze that. Mockery in plain sight. You like being fucking mocked? For your fandom of WWE? As a fan, you like being mocked with what Vince McMahon and Elias and Roman Reigns did in that main event segment? Fucking pathetic. Getting out of here. Thank you guys so very much. Hope you guys enjoyed. Follow me on social media. At JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. Twitter and Instagram, by the way, clowns. Twitter and Instagram. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And if you guys want to check out all the other videos that I did this week, man, off the script. One of the greatest off the scripts we ever did, man. One of the highest viewed off the script weekends in the history of off the script. With the Sasha Banks story, the Road Dogg story, the Pat McAfee story, the R.D. Evans story, the creative writer that was fired at the Hall of Fame. Make sure you guys go and check that out. Raw, obviously SmackDown tonight. We'll cover NXT tomorrow. Brand new set of tapings. Buddy Murphy versus the Velveteen Dream tomorrow, along with NXT news. And then we got off the script again this coming weekend, man. And obviously, if there's any other breaking news, I'll cover it on an OTS Extra for you this week. Thank you guys so very much. Hit that thumbs up, and I will see you all right back here tomorrow for NXT. I'll see you then.